Welcome to our journey through the pivotal moments that shaped the early Spanish Empire in the Americas. From Columbus's first voyage to the profound transformations that followed, let's explore these significant events. Imagine a time when the Americas were a mystery to much of the world, a tapestry of diverse cultures and civilizations yet to be encountered by Europeans. In 1492, that tapestry was forever altered with the arrival of Christopher Columbus, an explorer who would unknowingly bridge two worlds and set in motion a series of events that would reshape the course of history. From the shores of the Caribbean to the heights of the Andes Mountains, the Spanish Empire would rise, leaving an indelible mark on the Americas. We'll delve into the conquests, the encounters, and the consequences of this collision of worlds, examining the triumphs and tragedies that unfolded in the wake of Columbus's arrival. The year 1492, a pivotal year in human history. Christopher Columbus, an ambitious Italian navigator, set sail from Spain under the patronage of King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella. His mission to find a westward sea route to the East Indies, a land of spices and riches. Columbus, armed with the belief that the earth was smaller than it actually was, embarked on a journey that would forever change the course of history. After months at sea, land. Columbus and his crew reached an island in the Bahamas, believing they had reached the East Indies. This discovery marked the beginning of European exploration and colonization of the Americas, a landmass previously unknown to much of Europe and Asia. Little did Columbus know his arrival would usher in an era of profound change, forever altering the fate of two continents. News of Columbus's discovery spread like wildfire through Europe, igniting a thirst for exploration, riches, and conquest. Spain, eager to establish its dominance, quickly moved to claim these new lands. The conquistadors, driven by a potent mix of ambition, greed, and religious zeal, embarked on expeditions that would topple empires. Hernán Cortés, a ruthless and cunning conquistador, marched on the Aztec Empire in present-day Mexico. Through a combination of military strategy, alliances with indigenous enemies of the Aztecs, and the devastating impact of European diseases, Cortés and his men brought down the once mighty Aztec Empire in 1521. Further south, Francisco Pizarro mirrored Cortés's success, conquering the Inca Empire in the Andes Mountains by 1533. The Spanish conquistadors, vastly outnumbered but technologically superior, toppled empires that had thrived for centuries, forever changing the cultural and political landscape of the Americas. With conquest came the complex task of governing vast new territories and their indigenous populations. The Spanish crown, seeking to reward conquistadors and extract wealth from its new colonies, implemented the encomienda system. Under this system, Spanish colonists, or encomenderos, were granted control over indigenous communities and their labor in exchange for Christianizing them. However, this seemingly benign system quickly devolved into one of brutal exploitation. Indigenous peoples were forced into labor on plantations and in mines, enduring horrific conditions and suffering under the oppressive rule of the encomenderos. Adding to the tragedy, European diseases, against which indigenous populations had no immunity, swept through the Americas like wildfire. Smallpox, measles, and influenza decimated entire populations, killing millions and leaving a devastating demographic void in their wake. Chapter 4. A New World Stage, European Powers Compete. The Spanish were not alone in their pursuit of New World riches. Portugal, Spain's Iberian neighbor, staked its claim to Brazil, a vast land in South America. The Treaty of Tordesillas, signed in 1494, sought to divide the newly discovered lands between Spain and Portugal, a line drawn through a map that would have profound consequences for the linguistic and cultural geography of the Americas. Other European powers, witnessing Spain and Portugal's growing wealth and influence, were eager to establish their own footholds. Explorers like Jacques Cartier, sailing for France, charted the St. Lawrence River, laying the foundation for French claims in Canada. John Cabot, an Italian explorer commissioned by England, explored the coast of North America, planting the seeds for future English colonies. The race to explore, claim, and exploit the New World was on, with far-reaching consequences for the centuries to come. Chapter 5. The Spanish Empire, Consolidation and Transformation. The Spanish Empire, fueled by the flow of New World silver, grew into a vast and complex dominion. From the southwestern regions of what is now the United States through Central America and down into South America, the Spanish crown exerted its authority. Cities like Mexico City, built on the ruins of the Aztec capital Tenochtitlan, and Lima, established by Pizarro, became centers of Spanish colonial administration, shaping the political and social order of the Americas. Central to the Spanish Empire's expansion was the Catholic Church. Friars and missionaries, often accompanying conquistadors, sought to convert indigenous populations to Christianity. Missions established throughout Spanish America became centers of religious instruction, cultural exchange, and at times forced assimilation. The Church's influence permeated colonial society, shaping the religious and cultural landscape of the Americas for centuries to come. Chapter 6. Sparks of Resistance, Defiance in the Face of Empire. The Spanish conquest and subsequent colonization of the Americas were not without resistance. Indigenous peoples facing dispossession, disease, and cultural upheaval fought back against their oppressors. The Taino people, the first to encounter Columbus in the Caribbean, rose up against Spanish rule, led by chiefs like the valiant Hatue. In South America, the Mapuche people, fierce warriors and skilled strategists, waged a centuries-long resistance against Spanish encroachment. In the north, the Pueblo people, led by the spiritual leader Pope, orchestrated a successful revolt against Spanish rule in 1680, reclaiming their ancestral lands for a time. These acts of resistance, though often met with brutal reprisals, demonstrate the resilience and courage of indigenous peoples in the face of overwhelming odds. The Columbian Exchange, a world transformed. The encounter between Europe and the Americas triggered an unprecedented exchange of plants, animals, and ideas, the Columbian Exchange. From the New World, crops like potatoes, tomatoes, and corn revolutionized European agriculture, while horses, wheat, and sugarcane found new homes in the Americas. This exchange, while seemingly beneficial, had unintended consequences. The influx of European diseases devastated indigenous populations, and the transatlantic slave trade, a horrific consequence of colonization, would forever link Africa to the Americas in a cycle of exploitation and suffering. The Columbian Exchange, a complex and often tragic chapter in human history, reshaped the world, leaving an enduring legacy on the demographics, ecosystems, and cultures of both hemispheres. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of the early Spanish Empire. The age of exploration, marked by both incredible feats of human ingenuity and the depths of human cruelty, serves as a stark reminder of the complexities of our past. The Spanish Empire's rise and fall, intertwined with the stories of indigenous peoples, left an indelible mark on the Americas, shaping the cultural, linguistic, and political landscape we see today. As we've journeyed through time, witnessing the triumphs and tragedies of this era, we're reminded of the importance of understanding history, of grappling with its complexities, and of learning from the legacies of the past. Stay tuned for more historical journeys and insights.